This lesson requires you to understand what is a tangent line. So a tangent line is a line that intersects a circle at one point, and that one point is called the point of tangency. So ray BA is a tangent ray and BA is a tangent segment. One thing you need to understand is if you have a line that is tangent and then you have a line that intersects this line, then we say that these two lines are going to be perpendicular. That means that it forms a 90-degree angle. Also, the converse is true. If this line is perpendicular to a line that intersects at one point, then we can also say it's the line is tangent to circle O. We have two segments that are tangent at A and C, and they're congruent. So if BA and BC are tangent, so is AB congruent to BC. ML and MN are tangent to circle O. We know that LM and NM are going to be tangent at L and N. So these two are going to be perpendicular with the radius. We know that the sum of the angles in a quadrilateral is 360. So you know that this is going to be 90, 90, 117 in X. So 90 plus 90 is 180 plus 117 gives you 297 plus X equals 360. You subtract these two and you get 63. The CN Tower in Toronto, Canada has an observation deck 447 meters above ground. About how far is it from the observation deck to the horizon? So here is the actual tower. This is the actual horizon. And this right here is the hypotenuse. And this is the radius that is perpendicular to the tangent line. So we have the distance of the hypotenuse is 6400.45 squared is equal to x squared plus CE, which is the radius, which is 6400 kilometers squared. So you're going to get 6400.45 squared minus the 6400 and then squared, and that's going to be equal to x squared. But you don't want x squared, you want x. So what you're going to do is you're going to get the square root. And when you get the square root, that distance is approximately 76 kilometers. What is the radius of circle C? So we know that the radius is x. We know that the radius is x. We know that BA is tangent at B. And we know that this triangle is a right triangle. So we can use the Pythagorean theorem. So we have AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared. So you have x plus 8 times x plus 8 equals 12 squared, which is 144, plus x squared. Now, in order for you to multiply x plus 8 and x plus 8, you're going to have to use the FOIL method. X times x gives you x squared. X times 8 gives you 8x, and 8 times x gives you 8x, so that's 16x. And then you're going to multiply 8 times 8, which is 64. So it's 144 plus x squared. You're going to subtract x squared from both sides. So you're left with this equation, 16x plus 64 equals 144. Subtract 64 from both sides. So you have 16x equals 80. Divide by 16. So the only value that 80 divided by 16 is 5. So 5 is the length of the radius. Is segment ML tangent to circle N? If you want to make sure that then this radius has to be perpendicular to the tangent line. So you notice that you have a right triangle here. We're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to prove that that is a right angle. So you have 7 squared plus 24 squared equals 25 squared. 7 squared plus 24 squared gives you 625, and you notice they both equal 625. So that indeed is a right triangle, so it is tangent.